Something serious is happening behind your back right now, and you need to hear this message before it's too late. Someone is finally noticing your daughter in ways you haven't seen. The attention being directed at her is growing stronger each day as eyes follow her movements, as messages find their way to her, as influence begins to take root. This is not something you can ignore. This is not a warning you can scroll past. This is happening whether you want to believe it or not. Your daughter is being targeted, being watched, being selected, and the person behind this has been planning, waiting, calculating the perfect moment to make their move. This message has reached you now because there is still time to act, still time to intervene, still time to protect her from what's coming. The forces working behind the scenes are patient. They know how to remain invisible. They know how to avoid your attention while they slowly build connection with your daughter. They present themselves as safe, as understanding, as everything she's been looking for, especially when she feels misunderstood, lonely, or invisible to everyone else. Their words are carefully chosen, their actions precisely calculated, their timing perfectly planned to catch her when she's most vulnerable, when her guard is down. Every day that passes gives them more opportunity, more access, more influence over her thoughts, her feelings, her decisions, while you remain unaware of their growing presence. But you have been given this warning now because the situation is reaching a critical point where their influence could become too strong to break. The window to act is narrowing with each passing hour, with each message she receives, with each secret being kept from you. Like this video if you receive this message and stand in protection over your daughter, over your child, over the young person in your life who needs your vigilance now. The invisible watchers, the hidden influencers, they retreat when they see a parent who is aware, a guardian who is vigilant, a protector who can see through their disguises. Those who seek to manipulate, to influence, to control, they target the unprotected, the unguarded, the ones whose parents remain blind to the danger that circles closer each day. Your awareness is the first shield that can stand between them and your daughter. Predators move in shadows, they hide behind screens, behind friendly smiles, behind helpful gestures. They study your daughter, learn her wants, her needs, her vulnerabilities. They watch for the moments when she feels misunderstood, when she seeks validation, when she craves connection, and they position themselves as the answer to everything she's missing. They notice the things about her that even you might miss. They pay attention to her interests, her struggles, her dreams in ways that make her feel truly seen, perhaps for the first time. Your daughter is at an age where belonging matters, where acceptance is everything, where being understood feels like oxygen, and they know exactly how to offer all of this. They have selected her because they see something in her, a vulnerability, a loneliness, a desire to be seen that they can exploit, that they can use to build dependency. The greatest danger is that their influence looks like friendship, feels like support, seems like love, until it's too late, until the bonds are too strong to easily break. Type Amen if you will stand guard over your daughter, if you will be the protection she needs even when she doesn't think she needs protection. The forces that target her are counting on your distraction, your busy schedule, your trust in her independence, your belief that she would tell you if something was wrong. They know that most parents miss the signs, ignore the warnings, dismiss the red flags until the situation has progressed too far, until their influence has grown too strong. But you will not be one of those parents, not anymore. They begin with small connections, harmless conversations, casual interactions that raise no alarms, that trigger no warnings, that seem completely innocent to everyone watching. They study her responses, learning what makes her open up, what makes her trust, what makes her share the thoughts, the feelings, the secrets she keeps hidden from everyone else. They offer understanding when she feels judged, validation when she feels criticized, acceptance when she feels rejected, creating a powerful emotional bond that grows stronger each day. They position themselves as different from everyone else in her life, especially different from you. They would never misunderstand her, never fail to listen, never be too busy for her needs. The comparison is subtle at first but grows stronger over time as they elevate themselves while planting seeds of doubt about those who truly love her, those who truly protect her. They create special rituals, private jokes, secret communications that make her feel part of something exclusive, something special, something that belongs only to them. And slowly the distance between her and you begins to grow as she turns to them for the connection, the understanding, the validation she once sought from you. Watch for the subtle changes in her behavior, the new privacy, the guarded phone, the cleared browser history, the sudden password changes, the protective posture when messaging. Notice when she withdraws from family activities, when she becomes defensive about simple questions, when she receives messages that make her smile but she won't share the reason. Pay attention when she references new ideas, new perspectives, new beliefs that don't sound like her, that echo someone else's voice, someone else's influence, someone else's control. These changes happen gradually, almost imperceptibly, like water slowly rising around you unnoticed, until you're already too deep, until the current is already too strong. Her clothing might change, her language might shift, her interests might transform as she reshapes herself to please the one who is noticing her, the one who is influencing her. The most dangerous sign is the growing secrecy, the information kept from you, the places she goes, the people she meets, the conversations she has that remain hidden in shadows. Divine guidance says stay vigilant, for the enemy prowls like a lion, seeking the vulnerable, seeking the unprotected, seeking the ones whose guardians have fallen asleep. You have been chosen specifically to stand in the gap for your daughter, to be the protection she needs, even when she pushes against it, even when she resists, even when she claims you don't trust her. Type 777 if you will not let harm come to your daughter, if you will stand firm in your protection, if you will be the shield that stands between her and those who seek to manipulate her. This is not about control, this is about protection, this is about love. They create false intimacy through shared secrets, through vulnerable conversations, through late-night messages, when her defenses are down, when her need for connection is strongest. They position themselves as the only one who truly understands her, the only one who sees her completely, the only one who accepts every part of her without judgment, without conditions. They encourage keeping parts of their relationship secret from you, not because there's anything wrong, but because you wouldn't understand, because you would ruin the special connection they share. These secrets start small, innocent, seeming harmless, but each one creates distance between you and her, each one builds a wall that becomes harder to scale with every passing day. They test boundaries, gradually pushing her comfort zone, shifting her sense of normal, introducing new ideas, new activities, new behaviors that she would have once questioned, once rejected, once avoided. The progression is intentionally slow, patient, calculated, and never moving too quickly, never triggering her internal alarms, never giving her reason to question their influence, their motives, their control. They use her desire to be mature, to be independent, to be respected as leverage to separate her from the very protections she needs, the guidance she requires, the boundaries that keep her safe. Type 1 will protect my daughter, to break their influence, to shatter their control, to reclaim the connection that is being systematically dismantled by those who seek to separate her from you. The bond between you and your daughter is powerful, is sacred, is designed to keep her safe, but they know it is the biggest obstacle to their plans, their influence, their control. That is why they work so diligently to weaken it, to damage it, to destroy the trust, the communication, the connection that would expose their true intentions. But you can still reclaim what they are trying to steal. Look for physical changes, unexplained gifts, new possessions, items that appear without explanation, without source, without your knowledge of where they came from, who provided them. Watch for emotional volatility, extreme reactions to limits on phone use, computer access, social media, as these may indicate dependency on connections you cannot see, communications hidden from your view. Notice changes in sleep patterns, mood swings, emotional distance, anxiety, fear, or unusual happiness that appears disconnected from the events, activities, relationships you can observe in her life. Pay attention when friendships suddenly end, when long-term connections are abandoned, when social groups shift rapidly, as these changes may be influenced by someone redirecting her relationships. Be alert to her defending people you've never met, references to conversations you weren't part of, experiences that happened outside your awareness, especially if she becomes defensive when questioned. The most telling sign is when she begins to question your motives, your love, your intention to protect her, as if someone has been reframing your care as control, your protection as prison. You are not powerless in this situation. You have more strength, more authority, more ability to intervene than you realize, than they want you to believe, than your daughter currently understands. Your parental intuition is powerful, is valuable, is often warning you long before your conscious mind can piece together the fragments of what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling. Trust that inner voice that raises alarms, that triggers concern, that tells you something isn't right even when you can't immediately explain why, even when the evidence seems circumstantial. The love you have for your daughter is stronger than their manipulation, more enduring than their temporary influence, more powerful than the facades they have constructed to gain her trust. You still have time to act, to intervene, to protect before the situation progresses, before their influence deepens, before the distance between you becomes too vast to bridge easily. Your awareness is already changing the equation, already shifting the balance of power, already beginning to expose what was meant to remain hidden. Know that those who target young people follow patterns, use strategies, employ tactics that have been refined, polished, perfected through many attempts, through many victims, through many successes. They present themselves as uniquely understanding, uniquely supportive, uniquely connected to your daughter's true self, her authentic experience, her deepest needs that others fail to recognize. They position themselves as different from authority figures, especially parents. They would never impose rules, never set boundaries, never limit freedom, never question choices, never expect obedience. They deliberately exploit normal teenage struggles, the desire for independence, the questioning of authority, the forming of identity, the need for validation outside the family structure. They search for vulnerabilities, insecurities, doubts, fears, unfulfilled needs, unmet desires, and they transform themselves into the solution, the answer, the fulfillment of everything that's missing. Your daughter was selected carefully, deliberately, specifically because they saw qualities they could exploit, gaps they could fill, needs they could meet in ways that create dependency, loyalty, devotion. The most dangerous predators don't appear dangerous. They seem helpful, supportive, caring, interested, engaged, present in ways that parents stretched thin by responsibility, by work, by other demands sometimes cannot be. And this is the painful truth: they exploit, they fill gaps, they meet needs, but always with a hidden cost, always with an unseen agenda, always with a plan to isolate, to control, to manipulate. Type 999 if you are standing guard over your daughter, if you are committed to protecting her even when she resists that protection, even when she misinterprets your concern as control. The battle for her safety, for her well-being, for her future is not easily won, is not quickly resolved, is not immediately apparent even to her, especially to her, as she may see only the attention, the validation, the acceptance being offered. But you see more, you know more, you understand the patterns, the tactics, the strategies that have been used countless times before on countless daughters before yours. And now you are awake, now you are aware, now you are ready. The digital world has become their hunting ground, their territory, their perfect environment where they can approach, watch, study, influence your daughter outside your awareness, beyond your observation. They use platforms, apps, games, communication channels that you may not understand, may not monitor, may not even know exist, creating private spaces, secret connections, hidden conversations. They leave digital footprints, traces, evidence of their presence, their communication, their growing influence, but only if you know where to look, how to look, what tools to use to uncover their activity. Your daughter's phone is both her connection to the world and potentially the most dangerous device in your home, the portal through which predators gain access, gain influence, gain control. Messages arrive at all hours, creating constant connection, constant influence, constant redirection of her attention, her loyalty, her trust away from you, toward them, toward their influence, toward their control. The digital realm operates without boundaries, without hours, without limitations, giving those who target your daughter unlimited access, unlimited opportunity, unlimited methods to build connection. They count on your discomfort with technology, your hesitation to monitor her activity, your fear of violating her privacy, your concern about damaging trust between you. But monitoring is not about distrust, it is about protection, it is about safety, it is about creating boundaries in a world that has systematically dismantled all protective barriers around young people. There are specific actions you can take right now, today, this moment, that will begin to rebuild the protection around your daughter, that will start to expose the influence targeting her. Open conversation is your most powerful tool, not accusation, not interrogation, not panic, but calm, steady, ongoing dialogue about online safety, about healthy relationships, about trust, manipulation, influence. Establishing clear boundaries around technology, around access, around privacy is not controlling her, it is controlling the access others have to her, it is limiting the influence they can exert over her. Creating space for connection, for relationship, for presence in her life crowds out the influence of those who seek to fill the gaps, who exploit the empty spaces, who target the unguarded moments. You can be vigilant without destroying trust, you can monitor without invading, you can protect without controlling, by being honest about your concerns, transparent about your actions, clear about your motivations. The goal is not to restrict her but to restrict those who seek to manipulate her, not to control her but to control the access predators have to her. Protection requires more than individual vigilance, it demands community awareness, shared information, collaborative effort between parents, between families, between all those who care for the young. Predators fear exposure, fear community awareness, fear the light of shared knowledge that exposes their tactics, their methods, their presence in spaces they thought were private, were hidden, were secure. When parents talk to each other, share observations, connect experiences, patterns emerge, warnings surface, protection expands beyond individual homes to encompass entire communities of young people. Your daughter exists within networks of friends, of classmates, of peers who may also be targeted, who may also be influenced, who may also be at risk from the same forces targeting her. By sharing your concerns appropriately, responsibly, strategically, you create a network of vigilance, a web of protection, a community of awareness that makes it harder for predators to operate undetected. The safety of one strengthens the safety of all as awareness spreads, as communication increases, as parents unite in their commitment to protect not just their own children but all children within their influence. Type shield if you are creating protection around your daughter, if you are building awareness, if you are establishing boundaries that keep predatory influence at bay. The forces targeting her count on isolation, count on secrecy, count on your hesitation to reach out to other parents, to teachers, to counselors, to those who might help identify the threat. Breaking silence, sharing concerns, seeking support. These actions shine light into darkness, expose what was hidden, reveal what was concealed, make visible what was deliberately kept invisible. Your voice, your awareness, your action creates protection not just for your daughter but for others like her. The moment of intervention changes everything, shifts the balance of power, exposes what was hidden, illuminates what was shadowed, breaks the grip of those who thought their influence was secure. When predators realize they've been discovered, that their tactics are recognized, that their methods are exposed, they retreat, they withdraw, they seek easier targets, less protected victims, less vigilant families. They cannot operate effectively under scrutiny, cannot maintain their facade when questioned, cannot continue their influence when exposed to the light of awareness, the light of truth, the light of protection. Your daughter may initially resist your intervention, may defend the connection, may refuse to see the manipulation, but this resistance is temporary. This defense will weaken, this refusal will transform. As distance from the influence grows, as perspective returns, as the fog of manipulation clears, she will begin to recognize what was happening, will start to understand your concern, will eventually appreciate your protection. The turning point may not come immediately, may require patience, persistence, presence, but it will come with time, with love, with unwavering commitment to her well-being, to her safety, to her future. And when it does, when awareness dawns, when recognition comes, the bond between you will strengthen, will deepen, will become more resilient against future attempts at manipulation. Divine guidance says the battle is already shifting, the enemy is losing power, the darkness is receding as your awareness grows, as your vigilance strengthens, as your protection solidifies. Those who targeted your daughter are already feeling the effects of your awakening, your awareness, your action. They sense the change, they recognize the threat to their influence, to their control. Type victory to claim protection over your family, to declare that their plans will not succeed, that their influence will not prevail, that their manipulation will not continue unchallenged, unchecked, unexposed. The tide is turning, the balance is shifting, the light is growing stronger with every step you take toward protection. Every day that passes without action deepens their influence, strengthens their connection, increases their control over your daughter's thoughts, feelings, decisions, relationships, future. Predators count on parental hesitation, on doubt, on fear of overreacting. They expect you to wait, to watch, to wonder until the situation has progressed beyond easy intervention, beyond simple correction. The cost of delay is measured in broken trust, in damaged relationships, in emotional wounds that take longer to heal with each passing day, each growing connection, each deepening bond with those who seek to manipulate. This is not a situation that improves with time, that resolves itself, that diminishes without intervention. It only grows, only strengthens, only becomes more difficult to address as days turn to weeks, turn to months. Acting now, today, this moment may feel uncomfortable, may create conflict, may trigger resistance, but waiting allows roots to grow, deeper bonds to form, stronger influence to become more entrenched, more difficult to dislodge. The window for easiest intervention is now, when you first sense something is wrong, when you first notice the changes, when you first feel that instinctive parental concern rising within you. Stand now in protection over your daughter. Rise in the authority you have been given. Claim the right to safeguard the child entrusted to your care. The time for hesitation has passed. The moment for action has arrived. The battle for her well-being, for her safety, for her future is happening whether you engage or not. Type victory is mine. To claim her protection, to declare your commitment, to stand between her and those who seek to manipulate, to influence, to control her for their own purposes, their own agenda, their own benefit. Speak it, believe it, act upon it, for your words, your faith, your actions create a shield around her that those with harmful intent cannot easily penetrate. The victory is already yours if you will claim it, if you will stand in it, if you will walk in it with confidence, with conviction, with unwavering commitment to her safety. The plot against your daughter is being exposed. The hidden influences are coming to light. The manipulation is losing its power as your awareness grows, as your protection strengthens, as your love stands firm. Those who sought to separate her from your guidance, from your wisdom, from your protection, are finding their efforts blocked, their plans frustrated, their access limited by your renewed vigilance, your informed awareness. Your daughter may not understand now, may not appreciate now, may even resist now, but the day will come when she recognizes the protection you provided, the danger you averted, the harm you prevented through your action. The connection between you is stronger than any outside influence, the bond more powerful than any manipulation, the love more enduring than any temporary appeal that others might offer. The protection is established when you are aware, when you are vigilant, when you are engaged actively, intentionally, consistently in her life, in her world, in her development. It is done. The awareness has come. The protection has begun. The victory is assured for those who stand firm, for those who remain vigilant, for those who refuse to surrender their children to harmful influence.